Ty Jerome has officially been waived by the Houston Rockets. He was on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he was part of that 8-player trade and ended up being waived by the Houston Rockets. Now, currently, the Golden State Warriors are speaking to him about acquiring him to come on a training camp type deal. Maybe run a little bit during preseason, stuff like that, but very likely is not going to make the roster, just to come in as a spot, just see his shooting, things like that. But this guy shot 42% on 163s. He was one of only like 5 players 2 seasons ago. It wasn't last season. Last season, he didn't have a very great year. But the season prior to last season, shot 42% from 3 on a pretty good sample size. And he was one of like 5 players to do that on that many threes, or that many attempts during the season. So he's a guy that can light it up. He's a guy that could be a sharpshooter. Problem is, he's only 6'5". And the Lakers really need like some wing depth. They really need a guy that can, guard the perimeter. But they also really need shooting. And so that's where I wanted to make this video and pose the question to you all about, should the Lakers target him? Now, I have seen some rumors that the Lakers are at least keeping an eye on the situation with him, but I haven't seen anything about them actually making an extension, to reach out to him to say, hey, why don't you come on us? But I did see a couple things where, especially like Lakers Life Show or something like that, a couple other articles that when I was just looking up to see if the Lakers had any curiosity towards him. I saw a few things pop up, but nothing that's like, oh, the Lakers should do this. A lot of it was just, should the Lakers do this? Should the Lakers, go after him, look at him, stuff like that. So I wanted to pass that question to all of you. So, of course, let me know down in the comment section below. Now, again, 6'5" size. That, to me, is a bit of a concern because that's basically another guard, and we have plenty of guards. Defensively, he's not terrible. He's not great, but he's not bad. He's kind of average, little less than average. So he's not going to be shutting anybody down, but he does have pretty good size for somebody that's 6'5". And I do think he could make an impact on this team, but it'd be more so for the shooting. He's 25 years old, so he's young. He has NBA experience. He's had a couple seasons under his belt. Like I said, one of those seasons he shot 42% from 3. So could he get back to that? Could he be a 42, even just a 40% three-point shooter? Especially next to guys like LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, things like that. He's going to get shots that he's never gotten in his career. And he's a guy that was part of Virginia. The reason I mention that is because I think that that's important. He comes from a prestigious school, a school that has always been good defensively. He's come to the NBA, and so far he's been able to translate the offense and shooting side to him. He was great in college, right? And he's been able to sort of capture that shooting, except for last season. He kind of had, he kind of hit that wall that a lot of these young guys get. But could he get back to the flow of things? Now, league average defensive rating is around 15, and Ty Jerome's at 115 points, and he's at 116. So he's, again, slightly under league average from a defensive standpoint. But my biggest concern with him is his lack of wingspan. Even a guy like Walker, right? He's got a 6'10" wingspan. So that's great. Even guys like Patrick Beverley and Dennis Schroeder have a larger wingspan than Ty Jerome, who Ty Jerome's wingspan is about 6'3", 6'4". So his wingspan's smaller than his height. So that's a bit of a concern as well. So he doesn't really have the length. If he was, operating as a point guard or a shooting guard, something along those lines, then it'd be a little more easy to fit in on the defensive end, fit in just size-wise, period. But if he was to play on the wing where we need somebody specifically, that's where I feel like he would really underperform. I think he would, and I think that's sort of that's where his defensive liabilities lie. He doesn't have the length to keep up with some of these guys. But at least he tries, at least he puts in the effort. Because here's my problem, is that like all of the options are really just 3 or D. Like there's not really any 3 and D guys out there. There's guys that, maybe you could take a flyer on, take a chance on, like Josh Jackson. Can he finally start knocking down threes at a reasonable rate? If Mo Harkless is expected to be bought out, can he get to like league average? Then you have your 3 and D guy, right? Stuff like that. But for the most part, Mo Harkless, terrible 3-point shooter, more so for like the defense. He would be like our Stanley Johnson replacement. Not as big, but still, he's got some size to him. And that's kind of where the problem lies. Do we go with a guy like Ty Jerome that can just light it up? Or, a Carmelo Anthony or guys like that. Some guys with some experience. Some guys that at least can play some defense. Again, they're not elite. They're not going to be stopping anybody. They're not going to be shutting people down. But they're at least good enough to play within the scope of defense. Ty Jerome's a smart player. He was, again, smart in Virginia. He's been smart since he came in the league. Really a key contributor on this team. The concern is, can he replicate the season prior? Because last season, he wasn't very good. So, like, if you look up his career averages, his career average is 34% from 3. And that's because of how bad of a season he had last season. So, he averaged about 17 minutes a game, shot 37, just under 39 or 38% from the field in general, but only shot 29% from 3. He's a great free throw shooter. But, again, like, that was a very dismal season. Played 48 games for the OKC Thunder, last season, and it's just one of those things. It's like, can he be a guy that can come in and kind of bring back that was like last season a bad season and just a down year, or is that more so the player he is? Like a great example is like Julius Randle. Like Julius Randle 2 seasons ago had like an incredible year. Shot like 40% from 3, had, what many people were arguing like could have been an MVP season, things like that. And last season he had the worst season of his career since his rookie season. So it's like, where is he? I think like Randall in that comparison is somewhere in between. I don't think he's as good as he was 2 seasons ago, but I don't think he's as bad as he was last season. So for Ty, is that kind of the same situation here, where he's not as bad as he was last season, but he's not as good as he was 2 seasons ago. But what is his medium? So last season he averaged just about 7 points. I think it was like 2 rebounds and 3 assists, somewhere around there. I know the 7 points was what he averaged point wise. But so like, that's all we really need is a guy that can come in, knock down like 3, maybe 4 threes a game. Can you give us, can you shoot 40% from 3 and just knock down 3 or 4 threes a game, right? That, if Ty Jerome can be that, then he would be a great asset. He'd be a great contributor. But it's like, where is he in the medium? Is he that 2021, 22 guy, or is he the 2020, 2021 guy? Because that guy, he shot 42%. So that is the kind of shooting we need on this team, a guy that can shoot 42%. It's just, again, it's a little weird. It's kind of like not a name that really stands out to you. It's not a name that you really think of when you're like, oh, the Lakers should go get this guy. But he's young. He's 25. He's got experience. He's had a good season before. And can it be replicated? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think about Ty Jerome? Is this a guy that you think, yes, he's not the guy he was last season, he's better than that, he's closer to the guy from 2 seasons ago? Or do you think, like, no, he's somewhere in the middle, but it's not worth it? Defensively, he's a liability. We don't need any more 6'5" guys. We need, 6'8", 6'7" guys, which I do agree with. We do kind of need that. It's just a thought, because, we're either going to have to decide, unless a trade happens or something like that, or somebody just great gets bought out, chances are we're going to have to make a decision as far as, like, do we want a big 3 at in regards to defense, or do we want like a shooter? Because that's kind of where we're at, and I think if we could get a guy that could come in and really light it up, I think the Lakers would bring that guy on. Is Jerome that guy? I mean, the Warriors clearly think that there may be something there, so it's at least worth a look if you're the Lakers. But do you feel that same way? Do you think the Lakers should, maybe take a shot? Bring him on. Bring him in, training camp, let him run a couple games in preseason, see where he's at, and kind of evaluate him from there? Or do you think, no, don't even waste your time, wait for a Mo Harkless or a Rudy Gay or something like that to get bought out, and then go with that guy? Because I mean, if we could get Rudy Gay on like a vet minimum, I would do that. I would love that. Or especially like a Mo Harkless. Although Rudy, I think, gives you more of a balance. Although Harkless is the better defender. So it's just, again, it's like, what do you need? But anyway, again, however you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comment section below. Quick little shameless plug, everyone. If you enjoy my videos and commentary here on this channel, As It Stands Lakers, then check out the link down in the description below and go subscribe to As It Stands. Believe it or not, As It Stands was the first channel. If it wasn't for that channel, this channel would never have existed. Because of the success of that channel, it led me to want to create this Lakers channel. So do me a huge solid. If you're not subscribed over there, go check that out. Go subscribe over there. I talk all things sports, all teams, things like that, not just the Lakers. So if you just enjoy my commentary and want to hear me talk about other things, or you just, are a fan of other sports and other teams, go check that out. I promise you will not be disappointed. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.